So when you become a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what all finally happens? Well, the answer may surprise you, and in this video, we're going to go over everything that you might experience all the way from white to purple, because I can't speak on brown or black yet, because I'm not one of those guys who gets my black belt in 3.5 years or anything like that. I'm in no rush. So in this video, we're going to cover everything that you're going to go through with purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which some people like to call Jiu-Jitsu puberty. Now, I used to think of Jiu-Jitsu purple belts when I was first a white belt. To me, they were like Jedis. Like, they had access to the Force. They could just, at whim, make people fall over, sweep people, submit people with just like magic. Like, it was absolute wizardry when I saw a purple belt on the mats, and especially whenever I rolled with one. And now that I am a purple belt, it's true. You do get access to the Force and Jedi power. So let's go into it. Let's break down what all happens when you get to purple. So by the time someone reaches purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that basically means that they really have a good fight IQ. It's not only going to be in a sense of grappling, but if someone's stuck around for martial arts and trained Jiu-Jitsu long enough to reach purple belt, they also know what to do on the feet with striking as well. So a purple belt is just a very, very well-rounded fighter, athlete, martial artist that can just pretty much handle anyone at blue belt or below. Mine, there might be a little bit of physical differences that could make like super crazy collegiate level wrestling white and blue belts get the best of a purple belt. But for the most part, a purple belt is where a martial artist is really going to be rooted in finding themselves and getting really, really clear on their style of themselves with jiu-jitsu and their martial arts style. For instance, like, I was always a big non-believer in butterfly guard all the way till blue belt basically, but now it's becoming one of my favorite kinds of guards, and I would have never expected butterfly guard to be something that grew on me if I would have quit way earlier. So you really start to have an identity shift at purple belt where you are a martial artist, you know what you're doing, you can handle yourself with ease, and now it's really about refining your game and deciding who you are on the mats. Another great thing about being a purple belt is that everyone likes to go way, way harder on you. No one's taking it easy anymore. You are a mini boss battle for white belts. You have a target on your back for blue belts. They want to prove themselves right away. Other purple belts know they can go hard on you. White and brown, or black and brown belts know that they can also take out their stress on you as well. But when you're a purple belt, you know, you're built to handle it. Like, you got good defense. You're really capable on the mats, and you're able to take care of yourself. Like, you have a good guard. You know sweeps. You know submissions. You know defenses, reversals, all kinds of things. So you have a lot of confidence on the mats. Nothing's really gonna surprise you that much anymore. It's really just about mastering your own transitions and your own submissions, your own gameplay, your own game style on the mats versus, you know, learning anything new. At white belt, the entire game is new. You're brand new. You don't know shit. Things are just going crazy and you're getting beat up all the time. Blue belt, you kind of know a little bit more rules of the game now. You can actually see the game. You know what game you're playing. You can see, but you're still getting things that you're just seeing for the first time, and people are really still putting a beating on you. But purple belt, you're pretty weathered already. You've taken a lot of ass kickings in your days, and it really has helped shape you and your ego if you've made it to far as purple belt. The big thing that when people get to purple belt, what they have to watch out for is you get really good at technique, like scary good at technique, to where when you're rolling, you won't have to use much strength anymore. And it's awesome because you know how to use people's momentum against them, but it's also can be a detriment because when you're white belt and when you're blue belt, like, you're constantly, you know, you're tight, you're really scrambly and explosive and unpredictable, and you're burning a lot of energy all the time. But when you get past like purple, you learn how to be efficient, you learn technique really, really well to where you can use other people's energy against them, and it's awesome. It makes you really technical, but what you got to watch out for is it can make you lazy. All right, do not fall into the trap of always pulling guard, pulling half guard, taking it easy, taking it slow, and just calling that your exercise for the day, because it's very tempting because, you know, you have maybe a really great guard, really, you know, just really great game overall, but now rolling on the mats is not the same level of exercise it used to be, so you got to continue to push yourself, continue to like try to do more wrestling exchanges, stand up, push yourself, actually put in a lot of effort on the mats, make sure you're moving and really working hard. Otherwise it's really easy to just like fall back and rely on that technique, which is so good. It's good to have, but because you're no longer using strength anymore, you're losing your strength, you're losing your cardio, which is why also outside of the mats, this is the strength and conditioning coach in me talking, you need to be lifting weights, you need to be doing some supplemental cardio as well, whether it's on an assault bike, whether you're doing some jump ropes, like things that maybe could be low impact on the knees as well, if knee is an issue in your journey, but you need to supplement your activity on the mats in the weight room and with your conditioning, also mobility, so we're not getting hurt, right? By the time you've reached purple belt, like you've probably gotten injured at some point. Something has probably gotten injured, something has probably, hopefully not snapped, but shit happens. Grappling is a very high contact, high probability of injury sport. So if that's the case, like also, and you've continued to stick with jiu-jitsu, you've probably been able to adapt your game around injury, and it's also transformed your game as well. So for example, when I really hurt one of my knees and I had knee surgery, my half guard game got really good because I was able to slow down the game. And unlike a white belt, I wasn't trying to force rubber guard anymore. Now I'd like to take things slow. Maybe we go to half guard, maybe do some smash and pass style passing. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, nothing too hard on the joints, but some things that are just simple and effective that stand the test of time on the mats and that work. So you really start to define your style of game on the mats, also that works the best for your body type. I also think that purple belt is really when transitions become your playground. You really start to see that gap between positions. For example, let's say you are mounted and then you sweep them from mount and it's a full sweep. Usually a purple belt is able to grab onto some kind of submission between any one of those transitions. Like they're able to find triangles out of nowhere, arm bars out of nowhere, wrist locks come out of nowhere, foot locks come out of nowhere. So the transitions really become your playground because white belts you can just bully. Blue belts know the foundations and they know the defenses, but they don't know how to piece together the transitions yet as well, or the timing as good as a purple belt will. So that timing and that transitional period is where you can really take it out on the younger belts. Doesn't really work as well on the browns or black belts. All right, those rugged, scary guys, they're a whole different video for a whole different day. But we're grateful for them because they're always passing the knowledge to us, right? So. But at purple belt, you're really starting to just become elite in your transitions, and not only your transitions, your defense, your guard. If you're able to survive this, and you can survive all of that, that means you have good submission defense, you're comfortable in bottom side control. It's not the end of the world for you. You know how to hang out, you know how to get back on your feet, get back into a good position. And if you're passing a purple belt's guard sometimes and you're a lower belt, it's because the purple belt's letting you. It's because they're like, you know what, let me let this guy pass. Let me let him work a little bit. Let me test myself in a bad position, and get out of it. So you have a really very strong defense and guard as a purple belt and beyond. And so this is also one of the things that happen at purple belt. It might be ironic saying this, but like your ego develops because you know that the mats are a little bit of a different game for you now because you want to be committed to the long haul. Maybe here, as a young, hungry white belt, you want to be UFC champion and you have very high aspirations, but at purple belt you get very fucking realistic, and like if you're actually good at fighting or actually good at competing, like you pursue it, and if you actually just want to stick to your 9 to 5, not risk the injury, doesn't have the risk to reward ratio for you fighting wise, but you still want to take care of yourself as a martial artist. You want to be able to have good self-defense, good self-confidence, keep in shape, what I like to call those people are monster hobbyists. They're not really out trying to compete, but they want to be like a gym enforcer. They want to be one of the scariest guys to roll with. So they're helping sharpen up all the competitors and fighters, things like that. But they still got to go to work at 9 or got kids to feed in the morning. Like those kinds of things. They're not too hardcore about getting a call from Dana White, but they are passionate about grappling and they're very capable with themselves. And when you get to purple belt, most of your ego dies. A lot of people can't make it because you accept that there's always someone better. Like there's always someone that's gonna be able to kick your ass no matter how good you are. Like there's always a bigger fish in the sea, and you learn that as purple belt. And if you can't like stomach that, if you can't take the humiliation of getting submitted, getting your ass kicked over and over and over again, like you don't make it to purple or brown or beyond. And so it's very humbling. I like to call it humble pie. It's a good dose of humble pie that you experience on the way to purple belt. I think everybody should get that dose of humble pie because it helps you be so respectful towards everyone that you meet. And that's why I love jiu-jitsu, the jiu-jitsu community, because it's some of the most kindest, most respectful people that you'll ever meet. When I first came to jiu-jitsu, I was a big meathead. I was a gym bro. All I cared about was aesthetics and six-pack abs and all that kind of stuff. And those are great. Like, don't get me wrong, those are badass too. But like, there's a lot of ego in those kind of mainstream gyms where it's just focused about lifting versus martial arts gyms are very different. Like everyone treats each other with a lot more kindness because everyone could whoop each other's ass, and you tend to be a lot nicer to people in those kind of environments where there's combat sports. So I think it's very humbling, and I love that about martial arts and especially about jiu-jitsu. And at purple belt, finally, you really become a leader. Whether you like it or not, people are going to hit you up for advice on technique, how to tie your belt, how to get out of a bad position, how to apply this choke that, are they doing it right or not? Like people will come up to you and, whether you're giving unsolicited advice or not already, but people kind of gravitate towards trying to see how you're doing things. And maybe you have, at this point, adopted a few pet white belts of your own that you want to kind of give your secret techniques to, things like that. Those things kind of start to seem to happen around purple belt. For me personally, like I feel like I advanced very well in white and blue belt because I always had brown belts and black belts that kind of kept me as their pet, and they'd like show me like different moves. So at purple belt, you're ready to like kind of pass the torch on to more folks who are willing to learn and who are just ready to receive the knowledge. So that pretty much wraps up everything that you learn at purple belt. Again, I'm still learning. I'm a baby purple belt. I just got it. I'm still learning new techniques and new things to apply to my martial arts game each and every single day. And if you're someone who also is very passionate about your performance on the mats, your martial arts skills, as well as your strength and conditioning and mobility that supports those skills, go ahead, drop a like, drop a subscription down below. I'd really appreciate if you engage in the community and in the comments because you're my people. I'm your guy as well for anything strength and conditioning related. If there's anything that you need help with, feel free to hit me up on Instagram and just message me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We also have an exclusive Forged Fighters School community that I'm going to be opening up and pouring a ton of value in. So if you want to be a founding member of that, just comment the word Forged or DM me the word Forged, and I'll send you an invite while it's still free. I'd love to hear your insights from your jiu-jitsu journey down in the comments below of everything that you've learned, whether you're a white belt, a blue belt, purple, or beyond. I'd love to hear your takeaways from this video or things that you have to share from your journey as well. Again, subscribe. I try to post weekly with new jiu-jitsu strength, conditioning, and mobility content. Also, if you want a free strength guide to help your jiu-jitsu game, go on Instagram and just comment the word strong in my DMs and I'll send it out to you ASAP. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.